Hi guys, Heather here from Cozy Creative Crochets, and in this tutorial I am going to teach you how to make my famous bum bag. This is called the boho bum bag. I hope you guys enjoy it. For this tutorial you will need approximately 230 yards of worsted weight yarn, a 5mm hook, scissors, and a threading needle. Okay, to start we're going to make a magic circle. And then we're going to chain 2, and that's going to count as our first DC. And then we're going to work a DC in that ring. Chain 2. Then we're going to work 3 DC in that ring. We're going to chain 2. Work 3 DC in that ring. Chain 2. Work another 3 DC in that ring. Chain 2. And to finish off the round, you're going to work 1 more DC in that ring. And then we're going to join with a slip stitch. And then slip stitch again into that chain 2. Okay, so your first round is now complete. So to start the second round, we're going to work a butterfly puff into that chain 2 space. And to do that, you're going to yarn over, insert hook into the same stitch, draw up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, insert hook into the same stitch, and draw up a loop. And you're going to do that 4 times. So 11 loops will be on your hook. And you're going to yarn over and pull through all the loops. Chain 2. And you're going to do the same exact thing. So you're going to yarn over, insert hook into the same stitch, draw up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, insert hook into the same stitch, draw up a loop 4 times, 11 loops on your hook, yarn over, and you're going to pull through all 11 loops, and then you're going to chain 1. Okay, and now in your first DC, you're going to work 2 DC. Work a DC in the next DC. And then we're going to work 2 DC in the next DC. And then we're going to work a butterfly puff in the next chain 2 space. So yarn over, insert hook into the same stitch, yarn, draw up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, insert hook into the same stitch, draw up a loop 4 times, 11 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 11 loops. We're going to chain 2. And then we're going to yarn over, insert hook into the same stitch, draw up a loop 3 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, insert hook into the same stitch, draw up a loop 4 times, 11 loops on your hook, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 11 loops, chain 1, and then we're going to work 2 DC in the next DC, DC in the next DC, work 2 DC in the next DC, and then we're going to work a butterfly puff in the next chain 2 space. And we're just going to continue this same process into the end of the round. Once finished with round 2, we're going to join with a slip stitch to the chain 2 space of the first butterfly puff. And we're going to work a butterfly puff in that chain 2 space. We're going to work 2 DC in the first DC. Work a DC in the next DC. Work a DC in the next DC. Work a DC in the next DC. And then in the last DC, we're going to work 2 DC. Okay, in the next chain 2 space, we're going to work a butterfly puff. Okay, we're going to work 2 DC in the first DC. Work a DC in the next DC. Work another DC in the next DC. Work a DC in the next DC. And then in the last DC, we're going to work 2 DC. And then we're going to work another butterfly puff in the next chain 2 space. And we're going to repeat that same process into the end of the round. Okay, once finished with round 3, we're going to join with the slip stitch to our chain 2 space of the butterfly puff. Okay, and we're going to work a butterfly puff in that chain 2 space. Work 2 DC in the first DC. Work a DC in the next 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 DC. And when you get to your last DC, you're going to work 2 DC. Okay, then you're going to work a butterfly puff in the chain 2 space, and you're going to repeat this process all the way around. Okay, once finished with round 4, we're going to join with a slip stitch to the chain 2 space of the butterfly puff. We're going to work a butterfly puff in that chain 2 space. Work 2 DC in the first DC. Work a DC in the next DC. Work a DC in the next DC. Work a DC in the next DC, and continue that until you get to the last DC and work 2 DC in that last DC. And you're going to continue this process all the way around. Okay, once finished with round 5, we're going to join with a slip stitch to the chain 2 space, and we're going to fasten off. Okay, now that we're done with our first granny square, we need to make an additional 3. So you need a total of 4 granny squares. I suggest blocking your granny squares as it lays like a lot neater and bigger. You'll see it actually does really help. And I will meet you back here when you're done. Okay, once finished with all 4 granny squares, we are going to attach them. So we're going to take 2 granny squares. We're going to make a slip knot. And we're going to start attaching our granny squares at the chain 2 space of one of your butterfly puffs. Pull through, and then we're going to chain 1. And we're going to use single crochet to attach. So we're going to attach our first puff from the butterfly puff. And then we're going to attach each DC across until we reach the next chain 2 space of the butterfly puff. You get to the chain 2 space of the butterfly puffs, we're just going to do a slip stitch, and then we're going to fasten off. Okay, now we're going to take another granny square and we're going to attach it to the middle granny square using the same process as the other one. So we're going to make a slip knot. So we're going to attach at the chain 2 spaces of the butterfly puff, and then we're going to chain 1. We're going to single crochet in the first puffs of the butterfly puff, and then we're going to single crochet across in each DC, and we are going to attach the last chain 2 of the butterfly puff with a slip stitch. And then we're going to fasten off. So now 3 of your granny squares are now attached, and we just have to attach 1 more. I am going to weave in all my ends, and I will meet you back here when I am all finished. Okay, now we need to attach the last granny square. So to do that, we're going to fold in our side granny squares so they look like triangles. And we're going to take our last granny square and we're going to attach it. So to do that, we are going to first create a slip knot. And very similar to our other granny squares that we attached, we're going to start at the chain 2 space of our butterfly puffs. And then we're going to chain 1. And then we're going to single crochet through the first puff of the butterfly puff. And then we're going to single crochet in each DC until we get to the next chain 2 space of our butterfly puff. We are going to attach the puff of the butterfly puff with a single crochet. And then we're going to attach at the chain 2 spaces with a single crochet. And then on the next butterfly puff chain 2, we're going to single crochet, we're going to attach with a single crochet to that same chain 2 space. And then we're going to single crochet the next puff of the butterfly puff. And then we're going to work a single crochet in each DC, the same process as we just did. And then I will meet you back here when you reach the last chain 2 space. Okay, once all 4 granny squares are attached, we are going to attach our side granny squares together, and I will show you how to do that. So first, we are going to make a slip knot. Okay, starting at the first DC after the butterfly puff of each granny square, we're going to work a slip stitch. Chain 1, and then we're going to work a single crochet in each DC across until we reach the chain 2 space of the butterfly puffs. To attach the chain 2 spaces, we're just going to work a slip stitch, and then we're going to fasten off. Once finished with that, then we just have to attach the other side using the same process, and I will meet you back here when you're all finished. Okay, your bag is starting to come along. You should have both sides attached at the top, leaving the middle unworked, so it should be open, the middle. And now we are going to work on the strap for your bum bag. So to do that, we are going to make a slip knot. And then we're going to attach to the chain 2 space of the butterfly puff. And then we're going to work a butterfly puff in that chain 2 space. Okay, now we're going to turn our work and we're going to work a butterfly puff in that chain 2 space. Okay, we're going to turn our work, and then we're going to work a butterfly puff in that chain 2 space. And you're going to continue working as many butterfly puffs as you need for your desired length. I made a total of 32 butterfly puffs for my strap, and I will meet you back here when you're all finished. Once you've reached your desired length for your strap, we need to attach it to the other side. So to do that, we're just going to attach using a slip stitch to our chain 2 spaces of each butterfly puff. I suggest doing it wrong side facing out. In this tutorial, I did right side facing out, and I prefer wrong side. So, I mean, it really is preference. It doesn't really matter as long as it's attached. And you're just going to work 2 slip stitches in the chain 2 space to attach. Okay, and that's it. I was at the end of my yarn, but if you were not at the end of your yarn, you just fasten off at this point and you weave in all your ends. And then I will show you what I did to create that button look without a button. I actually used a bead. So I will meet you back here when you're all finished weaving in all your ends. You can definitely use a button, but I do not have a button, so here's my wooden bead, and I will show you how I attached it. So I'm just going to take a piece of yarn and I'm going to thread it through my threading needle, and I'm going to put it through the hole of the wooden bead. Actually, first I'm going to put it through one of the middle DCs, and then I'm going to thread it through the wooden bead, and I'm going to put it through like just make sure the same amount of DCs are on the same side so it's even. So I believe I went in 3 DCs on each side. And then you're just going to make a knot. Just make a few knots. Double knotting is fine. If you want to do triple knots, make sure it's nice and secure. Okay, once you're all done placing your button or your bead, now we're going to make the loop on the back granny square. So to do that, we are going to find the middle DC and we're going to make a slip knot. And we're going to attach it. And then we're going to chain 7. And then we're going to slip stitch into that same DC. and we're going to fasten off. Just make sure that your chain fits around your button or your bead. And then that's it. So what you need to do is now just weave in all your ends, which I'm going to do, and I will meet you back here when I'm all finished. Here is my finished boho bum bag. There's plenty of room in here, as you can see. Perfect for a walk around the block or a kid's soccer game or football game or any place that you don't want to bring too much. It's perfect for just your wallet, your keys, your lip gloss. I even put sunscreen sometimes in there. You'd be surprised how much can go in this little bag. I hope you guys liked this tutorial. Please make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share. Thank you so much.